Hello, welcome now to Draw Celtic Knots. I'm your host, Jason Bellchamber. We're drawing a Celtic Triskele knot design from the Pictish St. Vigeans Celtic cross. What we're going to do now is take our second thickest marker and we're going to start making the ribbon a little more uniform where it crosses over. We're also going to make it a little more uniform in thickness. And we're just going to start to color in. The negative space too. This style of knot is a variant of a trillion. Each quadrant has a variant of a trillion Triskele design. Now the knotwork designs that you'll see in Celtic knots, I believe, originated in the northeast coast of Scotland under a Pictish and Irish Celtic influence. St. Columba in the 6th century was exiled to Scotland, or what's modern day Scotland now, but it would have been Pictland back then, by one of the last pagan or non-Christian kings in Ireland for, believe it or not, plagiarism. He had copied someone's Bible and claimed it as his own. So as a form of punishment, he was exiled out. So he left Ireland, swore never to set foot in Ireland again, and he and his followers moved to Iona and set up a monastery there with the purpose of converting the heathen Picts. And later on, the Anglo-Saxons who lived in the southeast of Scotland. And some of the motifs from the Saxons also influenced Celtic knots at this time, during the 6th century and the 7th century. Alright, we're just getting close to filling in a lot of the knots and making them uniform. Later on in the 7th century, the monastery in Lindisfarne was a place where many of the early Celtic gospel books were starting to be produced, and these are the ones that have knot designs in them. And I believe it was actually the Pictish artists who developed this knot style. And later on, the monks who were copying Byzantine Bibles in Lindisfarne started to decorate pages of the Book of Dema, the Book of Durrow, and the Book of Durham with these motifs. When the stone carvers would have made these designs, they would have traced it with probably chalk and then cut the ribbons around it, following the chalk and making score marks with the lines slowly and then making them thicker as time went on. Alright, let's start in here. You'll find that some markers, especially the thicker ones and the cheaper ones, will bleed a little. And by bleed, I mean you just leave it on the page and it starts to bleed. They usually have a bit of a cheaper ink, but they definitely have a use in filling up negative space quicker than a non-bleeding marker. Unfortunately, they'll be more likely to bleed through the page onto the surface underneath it too, so just be aware of that. Alright, we're almost done with our thickening of the ribbon and making them more uniform. And I'm going to, in the next segment, start to crosshatch around and just fill in the negative space with a thicker marker.